Hi guys, welcome to our channel. So today I'm just going to prepare a meal for my babies using apples. So basically I'm going to peel these apples and then chop them and separate them from the core, and then after that I'm going to boil them. After boiling them, I'm then going to put them in the blender. So what I did, to just for the sake of convenience, I already chopped and I'm now boiling the apples. So I'm just gonna have to blend them in here, but firstly I wait for them to cool, and then that's when I can blend them. However, you can do it after while they're still hot, but I prefer to let them cool down and then blend. So just to show you and illustrate, I'm going to peel this apple and then separate it from the core, just the way I did the others. Oh god, I almost chopped my finger. This thing of not using a knife all the time. Okay, so I just cut it like this, like this, like this, and like this. Then I have separated it from the core, and then I can throw away all this. So I just put this in the pot. So basically you need 8 of these apples, small apples, 8 small apples, and then you need 1 big cup of boiling water, and then you have to pour this boiling water into the pot with the apples, and then boil them. So that's what I did, and let me just show you the result of those apples after boiling. I'm gonna sort this out just after I'm done. So I don't like putting too many stuff into food for the kids, because you don't want to have a variety of things, because you don't know what your kids are allergic to. You don't know how the food is, and most especially I avoid processed food. So I don't give my kids sugar, all those kinds of things. I don't. So this is the apple. It's done. There's still water inside. I do need that water, so I don't let that water finish. I just boil until the apples are nice and yellowish in color, and then I wait for them to cool down. So I was cooling them down, but they're still hot. However, I'm gonna blend them now anyways, just to show you guys what they look like after. So you don't want to take the pot and then pour into the blender, because you can burn yourself from the splashes of the water that is inside the apples. So you just want to get a spoon and safely place the apples into the blender, and then the remaining water you will just pour it in. But most of the water goes into the blender with the spoon as well. So this is it, guys. It's done. And then I'm just going to now blend these apples. So I just want to show you how this looks like now before I blend it. So this is how it is before I blend it. So I'm gonna blend them and then you're gonna see how they look like afterwards. So I've placed my blender on the floor because if you blend from the table, I don't have a counter, I do have a table, so it makes a lot of noise. So I just put it on the floor, and then now I'm gonna blend the apples. Ooh, that's steamy. So it's already done. As you can see, it's fine, but we have to really make sure that it's completely fine. As you saw on the side, there was some apple that was not done, so I'm just gonna repeat. Okay, my baby is making noise and the other one is sleeping. Although she's not yet crying, I'm just gonna finish up here quickly. And then you're just gonna shake it, and mix it up, and then blend one last time. Okay, so now we are done. I'm just gonna pour it into the jugs. Normally I keep the jugs that I use to buy my kids food. I keep them so that I can make this and then store it. It's also economically smart if you are to make this yourself, because just one jug would amount to an amount that you can use to just buy these fruits and then make them yourself at home and have a whole lot more in store. So like that's what I normally do. I just make it and then I store it. It can stay for about 3 weeks to a month without going off. But you just have to make sure that you taste the food before you give your baby, because you never know. Sometimes you might find that you don't have power and then the fridge was off and you are not sure what's going on with the food. So just make sure that before you give your baby, taste and make sure that the food is completely fine. But it does last up until 3 weeks to a month. So I'm going to store that and then show you how I store it. So these are the jugs. Normally when I buy food for them, I store glass jugs. Even jugs for mayonnaise, you can store them. Any glass jug that you have to keep it, because I think it's the best storage for food. Yeah. And so to store the food, to pour it into the jug, I need a spoon to just guide the apple. Although if your blender does have a mouth, if it does have a mouth, you can always just pour it in just like that. There you go. And then same, there you go. And then there you go. And then, oh, oops, I think this is the last one. So for this one, I'm gonna use a spoon and just take out the last bits. However, I'm holding my phone and just recording, so I'm gonna turn it off just a bit and finish the pouring. And then yeah, after that you can just leave the food to cool in here, and then you can seal them afterwards, or you can seal them immediately. But I prefer, as I said, I prefer to let the hot air out first. So letting them cool is the best thing, and then you can put it in the fridge the way it is. So should your baby want to eat and at that time you don't really have the time, you can always just reach out to your fridge and then you have your baby's food. And it also depends on how thick you want the apples to be. So the thicker you want them, the less water you need to have inside the pot. Otherwise, I advise that if your baby is still very young, you have to make sure that the apple is not so thick. Just like this one, I think the texture for this one is perfect for my babies because they're quite still young, but anyways, I had to feed them. Yes, so okay, so I'm having a bit of that apple that just gathered at the bottom. Yep. And you can't afford to waste any because with the inflation rate this year, everything is just so expensive, everything is just so high. So please, mummies, if you're making this, don't waste most of it, because you see, I'm done, it's done. Those are like the last bits. So now I'm just gonna seal them up and then store them in the fridge, and done. So this is it. And now I'm just gonna leave it to cool before I put it in the fridge, and that's it. So for this one, this is quite huge. They kind of like, they eat it twice, you know, they share it twice. And then for this one, they share it once. So I have 4 bottles here, 4 bottles for 8 apples, and I feed 2, 4, then 8, yes, 8, 12 times. So this is it for them. I could have made a lot, but I didn't have so many apples. Okay, my baby is crying, so I'm gonna have to say goodbye. Guys, I really appreciate your time to watch this video, and I ask that please you may like, comment if you may, and if there's anything that you feel like asking, please do feel free to ask, and as well as subscribe to our channel, A&A Twins, Aliyah and Amira and Aliyah. So we love you so much, guys. We love you so much. I'm so sorry you can't see my face because I'm just filming this from my phone, but this is it from me, and on my next video hopefully I will be making porridge for them as well, and then I store it like this, so you will get to also see how I make that as well. I love you so much, guys. Thank you for the support that you've been giving me. I really appreciate, and I hope that I get to invite more and more people, more and more mommies to get to learn this. So that's it from me. Love you so much and take care. Good night. Love you.